powerful what time we're born in. Listen, guys, it is revival now. It is, guys. It's so important. We're making way for Jesus to return, and not one soul should be lost. Nobody's blood do I want on my hands. I don't want anybody's blood on my hands. I don't want to sit up here and preach to y'all and then miss somebody in my family, you know? So I got to be love off camera. I got to be desirable. They got to see Jesus when they see me. They have to. And it says, straighten up your knees and walk straight so the lame will recover and the sick will be healed. Right? So all you got to do is just walk with him, let him live through you. Job 14:5, since his days are determined and the number of the months is with you, and since you have set the limits that he cannot exceed. So, I mean, our days are mapped out by God. Isaiah 46:10, I declare the end from the beginning, from the ancient times to what is still to come. I say my purpose will stand and my good pleasure I will accomplish. So there takes all the stress off of you. God knows how he's going to feed you, clothe you, take care of you. Take what God gives you. It says, if you give, he will have men give to you. There's goods and there's services. So do your best at what you've got and do what God has called you to do, and he will work it out. I never knew where the money would come when I started. I never knew it. And then I thought it was only my calling, that it didn't have anything to do with my husband, that I didn't know that we were partakers of the God's grace together. I didn't know that. I didn't know God was calling my husband to be a pastor. I didn't know anything. But one day we were getting ready and God told me. God said, I called your husband when he was a young kid just like you. He made me a promise. So I was like, oh, do you remember this? And then he was like, yeah, I went to Benny Hinn, and he remembered. And then I told him, and then he was kind of like Jonah, you know, just putting along, wherever, going about his life, you know, not really doing what God called him to do. And then he was down in Alabama, and Derek, who went to the Bible college, he was there, and the plumber came, and the plumber said, who preaches, you or your wife? I'm a prophet, and you're called to preach. Don't forget this, you're called to preach. Don't forget this, you're called to preach. Amen? So he confirmed what I had been telling him. So, because people don't want to hear from you, but listen, guys, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself, because God is just as powerful in you and your family. Just because you know about their faults, God will use them anyway. He'll use a donkey. He'll use a donkey. So don't look down and think that God's not going to use somebody. He'll use somebody that you won't expect or think that deserves it. You know?